Are you tired of working for others and want to be your own boss? Do you want to find out more ways of making money? Do you want to improve your personal financial management? Are you part of a rat race where your increase in income is always followed by increase in expenses? Do you love someone but you are afraid to propose? Get answers to all these questions in today's video, and to watch more of my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's get started. So the story in this book is about two friends, Robert and Mike, who are 9 years old and they go to school. They want to get rich. Robert's father is well educated but does not earn much because he's a professor, whereas Mike's father is not well educated but is a businessman and makes good money. So Mike and Robert decides to go to Mike's father and ask him if he'll teach them how to make money. So Mike's father hires them to work in one of his superettes and he'll pay them 5 cents per hour. They both work for a couple of weeks, but then they believe that Mike's father is a cheapskate and he's exploiting them. So they go back to him again and tell him that they cannot work like this anymore and they are being exploited. That time, Mike's father agrees to teach them how to make money because they have passed the first step, which is to raise voice against being exploited. So Mike's dad tells them that there are 6 lessons you have to learn in order to become rich. So lesson number 1 says that the rich don't work for money, but money works for them. So basically, what does it mean? That rich people know how to multiply their money. Now you can have this question that what if we don't have money in the first place? So it is not necessary the money that you have to invest is owned by you, right? I'm not saying that you go and take bank loan. There is a very smart idea which has been given in this particular book. So these two kids, what they do after getting inspired from rich dad, we know that they are working in the superette. So one day they find out that in superette there are comic books as well. Now comic books, they have a certain validity. After that, new editions of comic books comes in and they have to throw the older ones. So the kids, they ask if they could get the old comic books. Now since they were working in the superette, so they were allowed to take the books provided they will not sell them. They decide to create a small library and allow other kids to read those comic books and pay some amount on an hourly basis. And that thing actually works because comic books are normally expensive and not everyone can afford them. So even without spending a penny, they were running a business. Then lesson number 2 is about financial literacy. What it says that even if you are a very successful professional but you are not into finance, so it is very important for you to understand how basically finance and accounting works. What is asset and what is liability? The definitions of assets and liabilities in this book, they are somewhat similar that we basically understand as an accountant, but the examples which he gives about assets and liabilities, they are different. So for example, we normally as an accountant treat a house that is purchased or an apartment that is purchased as an asset for us, but as per this book it is a liability because there has been a cash outflow from your pocket. But anyway, you should have an idea what assets and liabilities are so that you are able to maintain your personal accounting books. Lesson number 3 is about minding your own business. What it means is that you should have your own business. The author is not saying that you quit your day job. You can continue doing your day job, and that's what the author also did. But you should save money and then you invest it on your own business by basically creating real assets. Now, what are the real assets as per the author? Some examples are you invest in stocks, you invest in real estate, basically with an intention to sell it. So in that case, you can treat it as an asset. The author basically follows investments in stocks and then moving money which is earned from these stocks into real estate. But at the same time, he is saying that it is not necessary that you should be investing in the same assets. He basically says that invest in something that you love, because in that case you will actually care for your assets. Lesson number 4 is about history of taxes. So quickly I'll discuss this. There is a difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance. Tax avoidance is a smart move, whereas tax evasion can cost you heavy penalties. So you have to have an understanding between these two terms. Lesson number 5 is that the rich invent money. So basically he talks about two types of investors. The first type of investors are the ones who go to the broker and invest their money. So they basically invest in the established businesses. They are not taking that much risk. There is a second type of investors who basically look for new ideas. They try to create a business which is not there in the market. That's why he uses the term to invent money. It can be very risky that you go for a business which will not be a successful one. So he recommends not to do the business right away, but first to do a simulator. So first you simulate it, and based on the simulation, if you believe that it is working or it is going to work, then you actually start doing that business, especially if it is a new idea. So lesson number 6 is also very important. It says work to learn. So normally when we are working in our jobs, we are working to earn money. He says to work to learn. After he becomes very famous businessman, so he goes to Singapore, and in the hotel lobby he meets this journalist. She discusses with Robert off the record that she is also into writing, but her work is not being recognized. Robert suggests her to join some marketing courses. She gets offended because she says that she has already done PhD and now she's being told to join some marketing and sales classes. So although this particular copy is not having the bestseller book, but he shows that particular copy and he says that, look, in my book it's written the best selling author, not the best writer. So Robert basically knows how to sell. So this is also very important, that not only you should be having knowledge of accounting, but also how to communicate and how to sell yourself and your business. Also in this lesson he tells that if you want to earn, if you want to receive money, you'll also have to give it away. This is the same concept that we have in Islam, to pay zakat, to help others. So more you are going to give away, the more you are going to get in return. Other than these lessons, there are some obstacles as well, which the author tells us how we have to deal with these obstacles. Now, one of the obstacles is bad habits. Now, what a bad habit he explains is that whenever we receive our salaries, so what we do is that we are basically paying off all our loans and paying everyone else. If we are using any credit card, so definitely we are going to pay credit card bills. Now what he explains is that this is a bad habit. What you should do, that if you have any of your own requirements, you should first meet your own expenses and then use the remaining of the money to pay the liabilities that you have. Now, it might sound very foolish that you might not end up having enough money to pay off your liabilities, but this scenario is going to create a mental pressure to think about different ways to make money. Another obstacle he talks about is arrogance. So arrogance is that if you don't know anything, so it's not necessary that you pretend you know it. Admit it and let others come forward and discuss it. That's why when you run businesses, it is always recommended to employ people who are smarter than you so that they can tell you better ideas how to run the businesses. So that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to get notified for my future videos. Thank you.